Guys, this is the part of the show where we answer your comments, your questions, your concerns, all the things that you send to us. If you send us a super chat and you have a question out there that you want us to answer, the meaning of life, love advice. Amy's real good at the love advice stuff, guys. By the way, I'm just letting you guys know, and the secrets of life and all that. So if you send tips or super chats, we will interrupt the show and we'll focus like a laser on your topic, but. We've collected some of the stuff from our social media and from emails that we've gotten over the time, and I just had to ignore a phone call from my fiance. I hope I am not in trouble. Oh, no. I'm doing this for you. I'm sacrificing my life for you guys. So let's quickly go into We Got Your Mail. So if you don't mind, Amy, while I text Joy and find out what's going on, let's go into the first one real quick.
Joe Ryan says at the end of season 2 finale of The Mandalorian, they show a trailer for the Book of Boba Fett. I can't wait. I miss the movie theater, the energy of the crowd. Maybe that's why I've been watching so many reaction videos. That answers that question.
You said what?
I can never figure out why people are so into reaction videos. But that, as someone who loves like live, theater and comedy and seeing movies amongst a crowd, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for just putting those puzzle pieces together in my brain, Joe. I miss the movie theater too. It's not like top of my list because I feel like going to a live show when I can will be top of my list. But oh my god,
you miss going out to the theater.
Is that gonna be?
I know it's totally shut down where you're at, but it's a little laxed over here. It's probably how I got sick, but I went to the theater, and I was wondering if I was going to reactivate my A-list thing for AMC, and I decided to do it. I did it, and as I think I'm gonna force myself to.
You're like, I already almost died. I guess.
Yeah, it's gotta be worth it.
Worth the $10 or whatever that is.
So I hope it. And to answer the question, I am totally in trouble. So I'll try to multitask and see what's going on, and and go to the next question real quick. But what's the next topic real fast, because we got to power through.
James Gallagher, in response to one of our reaction videos, says, you should switch the screens. You guys, small screen, vid, big screen. It's not the screen it's not me that got small, James, it was the screen. I don't think I quoted that right, but I had fun.
It's not the screen.
It's not Bill Burr that got small.
It's the screen.
It was.
I know that quote. Then yeah, you totally butchered it and made me forget that. But it was about like the whenever we do reaction videos, sometimes I put us in full screen and I put the video we're reacting to in a little small. His suggestion is we should switch that. I did. I do. I go back and forth sometimes on that. Sometimes I'll put myself in the small box, and sometimes I put the video we're reacting to. So it depends. I mean, it's subjective to each his own. But yeah, we do that sometimes. I'll keep my eye on it. But thanks for the tip.
Dobromir Ivanov, in response to one of my Bill Burr reactions, I love this comment so much. Don't take it personally, but for some reason, the whole video I was thinking, I feel like I'm watching Mom. Why? What in this girl makes me feel of mother? 10 minutes later, oh, it's the laugh. It's the same laugh. So here we go, rewatching, I guess, as I missed the whole thing. Makes me feel of mother is such a powerful statement.
I thought that was hilarious when he said that.
It has such a the energy of this comment just unsettles and delights me.
Why do I feel so safe and loved when I watch your reactions? Oh, she laughs like my mom. I didn't know how you were going to react to this.
Do you have any issues you need to work out? Because for $50 an hour, I will. Mom didn't hug you enough. You can like turn the screen off and I'll just like laugh at everything you say. Is that just a thing I would like? Is that just a
That's funny how you be like, just for $50, you send a super chat and Amy will ground you and make you lunch. Like, yeah. We'll negotiate. What's the next?
Is it horny for Abel?
Horny for Abel.
Cool. I guess you probably reached out about using a Twitter thread in T3 Media's blog. Said you may quote what I've written. No worries with me.
Yes, exactly, 100%. There is so I asked Amy before the show if she's seen the new weekend video.
Right.
I've noticed that in like all of his videos are like connected, and like he's telling a long story between albums and between these videos. At first, he's gotten injured and hurt by multiple people and in his videos, and then he got so injured that for a while he was performing when he was completely bandaged. And now I guess now in this new video, I haven't watched it yet. I was meaning to watch it because the internet blew up about now he's unbandaged, and it's because I don't know if he's making fun of it or if he's pointing out about the whole plastic surgery thing where people go and do these extreme, operations on themselves and goes a little too far with the plastic surgery. And I have to watch the video to see, what this is all about. But I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. And then one person, this horny for Abel, because that's the name of his character now, is Abel, I guess. And this woman is obviously horny for him. So she does this long Twitter thread and breaks down the whole psychosis of what's going on. I'm like, she like really breaks it down. And I was like, okay, no, I asked him, I said, can I quote you and turn this into a blog post? So I'm going to put this into the blog and make it an article. I was thinking maybe about making it a topic on the show, but it wasn't ready yet. So they gave me the permission. But if you guys haven't checked it out, check out @hornyforabel on Twitter. And just read this thread. I'm like, it's like she really like breaks it down. And I said, are you like a writer, or is this what you do a lot? And she's like, no, I'm just really passionate about the weekend. I can tell because I think it's like 20 something threads. I mean, she really, when I break it down into an actual article, it's going to be a read. So check it out. But you guys can check it out right now. Go to @hornyforabel. And you can, it's an interesting read. So I thought it was interesting at least. But what's the next one that came in?
Simon Kep, this is in response to the Wonder Woman movie, says, imagine being this guy. You lose control of your body and consciousness, and then an unknown woman has sex with you and then takes you on a world-saving adventure, fighting White House security on the way, and which could have very well led to your death. She shows no remorse and even flirts with him after he gains control of his body. All the while, she knows that if she renounces her wish, everything goes back to normal and the man gets control of his body. But no, Wonder Woman, the biggest female hero in comic book history, is extremely selfish and uses the guy's body in whatever she wishes for. The sex is equivalent to having non-consensual sex with an intoxicated man who has lost his senses. This is nothing but rape, violating the basic right of human consent. I don't disagree. I mean, I get what they were going for, but it is a weird... Here was my thing, and I have a lot of issues with the Wonder Woman movie, but that is definitely, I mean, under the kindest of stretching an uncomfortable sort of unintended plot point. Mm. And if it's this magic wish thing, why couldn't it have just been him back in his body? Why couldn't it have just was there? Because I can believe that his body came back to life, but they had to add this whole extra sort of uncomfortable layer of, well, it's his consciousness in someone else's body, but she sees it as him, so we can still have it be Chris Pine. It's like, just have it be him. It's magic. If I believe that this magic exists, why can't I just believe that he's back in his own body? I agree that it's an uncomfortable kind of icky consent thing if you think about that. And then, trying to bring it back with like, oh, it's him in his own body. How's it going? It's like that, what? No.
You have a couple of queries there. I'll start with the first one here. The movie's based in the 80s. So I'm thinking, we're going to give a little nod to a bunch of things in the 80s. The hit TV series Quantum Leap debuted in 1989. We were doing a little nod to Quantum Leap, okay? Because I think that's pretty much what we were looking at right there.
Yeah, but did he like Quantum Leap and then have sex with somebody?
Yeah, now let's get into the whole thing about the whole unconscious.
You gotta leave. It's like camping. It's like camping as a scout. Like you gotta leave it better than you found it. And
exactly.
You gotta leave that body, like risking the life or having sex with the body feels like a really.
Do you look at that and consider was that sexual assault?
I mean,
Wonder Woman had sexual relationships with a man who was technically unconscious. If
you found out that you were not conscious in your body, but someone had sex with your body, you would be upset.
Wait. Say that again.
If you found out that you were not conscious in your body, but someone had sex with your body, that would be a major violation. That would be
you technically have been violated. And there are men who would be upset with that. But there's not too many comic book Wonder Woman men who would be upset. That's why this is probably not a major thing, because comic book fans are like, oh man, I would be so happy and thrilled with that.
That's not how consent works.
That's not exactly. It's not.
Pretty Woman. It's about.
You know what the weird thing was? I remember whispering this to Joy when we were watching. We went to the theater. That was the last movie I saw in the theater. We went to the theater and saw this. And I'm like, at the end of the movie, I'm like, so Wonder Woman had sex with a total stranger just because her dead boyfriend quantum leaped into the body?
Which, like I said,
is she a superhero?
You could have just had it be him. Have it be magic him and his magic body, his magic wish back to life. It doesn't matter. You didn't need to add the whole, like, it's not him, but she'll see him as him. That all bothered me. Yeah. Like, not as much as
the whole time she was, she wasn't even really.
And like I said, I get that they weren't trying to make it that, but there is a definite layer of like, oh, that is kind of gross.
That dude, I remember when we were walking away and driving home, I'm like, that guy could have had anything. It was the 80s, man. You didn't know that guy. Steve was probably okay, but you don't know about that guy's history.
Yeah. That guy didn't consent to his body being used like that. Yeah, a little weird. So, I mean, I guess if you want to extrapolate out, yeah, that does become like Quantum Leap. Like, these people didn't consent to any of this behavior. But I guess because there's so explicitly a sex scene in it, it does become especially.
That kind of makes me question every sex scene that was in the show Quantum Leap. Every person he leapt in, like he leaps into the body of a man who's married and his wife wants to have sex. Are you taking advantage of that situation there, Scott Bakula? Every woman he leapt in, and then I can't even remember. Was there even an episode where he had? There was a very on this same subject. There was an episode, and I only remember this episode because my mom just recently watched it, and I saw it again. And there was an episode where he leapt into the body of a woman who was a victim of rape, and he had to confront, the rapist. And at the end of the episode, spoiler alert, guys, he kicks his ass big time because, of course, he's all the guy sees is the woman. He's thinking, I'm gonna victimize you again. Now that I beat the court case, I'm gonna do it again. And because the guy was, possessing him, he had all of his own. He had all his strength as a man. He was a man that was bigger than the guy, and it was like, how the hell are you like throwing me around like this? The woman was probably like 5 foot, like 3 and like a couple 100 pounds, and Scott threw him around like it was nothing. So
I feel like this is not.
But I mean, but like, again, that goes the question, just like the guy stated. You took this body that doesn't belong to you across the country on this long adventure and stuff where the guy could have been killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You violated this guy in so many ways, man.
I don't disagree. Like, it is one of those, like, it didn't ruin the movie for me because I didn't love the movie anyways, but like, I can't disagree with, because I get that that's not what they were going for, but like extrapolating in that way of like, he didn't consent to this, it was rape. It's like, you're not wrong. That is a problem.
That should have been the after credit scenes. That should have been the after credit scene when he bumped into her at the end of the movie. I don't know why, but I remember everything that happened to me while he was possessing my body, and I am not into that. I'm like,
I'll see you in court, ma'am. Moving on.
What if he was gay? Like, what if he was gay?
No, I mean, like I said, it has nothing to do with, she's a gorgeous woman. Sure. He didn't consent to it. It's not okay.
No, I'm like, what if he was gay? But I'm sorry.
But that's not the point, Chris.
I mean, he wouldn't have liked it. That's the point for me. I'm saying,
even if under a consensual situation he would have been into it, because he did not consent when it happened, it's still. I'm just saying, I just don't want it to seem like our argument is like, oh, if he was into it, it's okay. It's not. Like, if we're having this conversation about consent, it is just important to me that we nail that down.
Joe says I'm showing my age because I'm talking about Quantum Leap. I'm like, yeah.
I have a segment where you can just tell me about an episode of Quantum Leap you saw sometime. Are we good on that?
Yeah, we're good. It was not consensual, and Diana Prince should be arrested. What's the next?
100K KRAWK says hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
All right, what's
Princess Ice says, your banter is great. Everybody is so random. LOL, I go to Italy every year to visit my grandparents, and I don't come back with an Italian accent. LOL. Oh, I just realized that was connected to the Hilaria Baldwin story.
Yeah, that was. I
thought Princess Ice was jumping on the.
No, she was just telling us, like, by the way, you guys are funny, and I go to Italy, and I don't come back with a fucking accent. Okay. Yeah, that was about
well, thanks for the compliment. And no, yeah, it's true. You can travel places and not pick up the accent.
I mean, I think she's also commented on what I said about how whenever I meet up with my the family that I grew up with, a certain accent that I don't.
But I feel like there's also a difference between like, and I don't know because I'm not like fluent in any other languages. But
I'm fluent in body language.
Okay, but like I feel like it's a little different with like what would that be, like a dialect? I think it's a dialect. There's a difference, and I always forget. But like, say if I'm around a person who speaks English with a little bit of a southern drawl, I can understand sort of slipping into that easier, but I don't know.
But not knowing how to say cucumber in Spanish.
Right. No, that felt far more staged to me. Like if I took French in high school and I've like been to France, I didn't pick up a random French accent until like it was very intentional when I was doing it. On the same topic, Karl jesaitis says, I have an American Cocker Spaniel, but he demands I speak to him in Spanish because of his heritage. He got jokes.
That was one of the funniest. I think people on that thread was like, this comment just wins the whole thing. He got so many likes on that one. I was like, okay, I'll throw it in there. That's too funny.
He's funnier than us, but it's fine. We've been over this.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be funnier than us, man.
I have nothing to add to that. That's just good. Aaron G, back to Wonder Woman 1984, says it was visually good to watch, but the storyline was horrible. The granting wishes stuff should have been a minimal storyline, but they made it the whole focal point of the movie. I felt like I was watching Aladdin Part 2 when I was watching certain parts of the movie. It's not good when the best part of the movie is the opening flashback scene when Gal Gadot is a child in that competition. That was a cool sequence, and it was the sequence that felt most like Wonder Woman, but also halfway through the sequence, I turned to my boyfriend and I was like, what is this contest?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Is this contest going to be like the plot of the movie and stuff like that? It's like,
right.
I felt like
a moment where she like cheats, and I was like, you didn't establish if they're like allowed to find a shortcut.
Yeah.
So I'm like, as an audience,
Unless it
member,
was like a
I'm not sure if I'm
known
supposed to be
thing.
like,
And
yeah, she did it, or like, oh, Diana, you're gonna get in trouble. Like, it was just.
you got to be honest. It's like if there's a lesson, if there was a lesson that opening sequence taught us, it was that if ever your boyfriend ever returns in the body of another man, don't take the shortcut.
Don't do it.
Just don't do it. But she's like,
Also,
I did.
that opening sequence was cool and didn't really connect. Like, I feel like the lesson of that sequence
Didn't fit with the lesson that I learned at the end of the movie.
It wasn't the same lesson, right?
Like she should have been like, I would have won. Renounce your victory. No, renounce it. I'll renounce my victory. I didn't.
No, yeah, the wish stuff was all. Well, and again, it's like you're gonna let it. It raises so many questions.
They Warner Brothers said that it was too long and they wanted her to cut that out of the movie. She fought to keep that in there. It was like that movie had two openers. There was that and it was the mall thing. It was like cut one of them and she fought to keep both of them. She should have cut the mall one.
That movie could have just been.
That movie could have been 30 minutes shorter.
I blocked out that mall sequence. I hated that sequence. So it was like Home Alone goofy.
People were trying to justify it and say that it was a nod to the cheesy way people used to do things in the 80s and stuff. I'm like, fine, but no.
There's a way to do. Listen, and I'm not saying it had to be this exactly, but I feel like Stranger Things pulls off like 80s sort of pastiche, like nods to movies, but it never feels dated. Yeah,
it feels like a period piece. It feels like we're there. Like
you can nod to things without it being like, why is this Home Alone weird actiony like boing like kind of
I'm like
going on?
I mean somebody even of course, right? Somebody had to throw race into it. If somebody was like, this was Washington DC in the 80s and stuff, like where are all the black, like one person, there was two arguments. One person was like there was only 4 black people in there. One person was like, yeah, that's too many. Another person was like, no, there should be way more. I don't know what the population of black people were in Washington malls in the 80s, but I was like, that's funny how no matter what, people will still bring it back to that conversation. It was the most ridiculous. I think this movie has brought the worst out of a lot of people.
Well, the movie brought the worst out of itself. So.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Love
it.
But just like Joe Ryan says, but I love that ending though. That ending cutscene. Yeah, no, I loved it. Linda Carter.
Oh, just that last little moment.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Come on.
Don't be a hater, Aim. Come on.
I'm drinking Haterade. And Bina E in response to Jerome Dickey, who passed away recently, right?
Bina, I'm gonna say the real Brianna is she's a friend of mine. She has a story, and I'll share a similar story afterwards too. But Jerome Dickey is a writer who just recently passed away. He's a writer that I follow, and I just wanted to throw this in there because she sent this to me via Twitter. So I said I'll share this with you guys. So what did she have to say, Miss Bina E?
She said, I met him online before I met him in person at a reading at an Atlanta bookstore for a friend of his that passed away. He was kind and so easy to talk to. He was friends with a good friend of mine who turned me onto his books. When I went to buy Genevieve in Marietta, Georgia, it was the first of his books I ever purchased in the U.S. I came down the escalator at Barnes & Noble, and there he was, just randomly browsing through books. We became friends after that. He called my husband and I his favorite couple.
Yep. Brianna is an old friend of mine, and one of the things that we didn't know that we had in common were we both were fans of a writer named Jerome Dickey, who just recently passed away. Jerome Dickey was a black novelist, and his books were focused more on they were romance like types of books that were always all black cast. It was mostly black community, female black communities that would read this the most. And it's funny that my friend Jason Rodriguez was in the chat because I got introduced to Jerome Dickey back in some early 2000s when me and him were roommates, and a girl that he knew was like, "Oh, if you really want to understand black women, you need to read this book by Jerome Dickey." He claims he read the book. I don't think he did. Because I saw that book sitting on his desk. We worked together in the office. I saw that book sitting on his desk for weeks, waiting to get picked up by the person that gave it to him. And I saw that book so many times, I don't know what came over me. I picked it up. I started reading it. And I was instantly hooked. And I don't know why. I didn't feel like I was the demographic for this. Like I said, I felt like this was targeted more towards black women. But for some reason, it spoke to me. Long story short, I know you're gonna say like too late. I went when I went to work overseas. I brought some of his books with me, and I was one of the first people who signed up with Amazon back in there. So I got a lot of stuff sent to me through Amazon, and I bought more of his books. And I became a even bigger fan. And then one day I just had the urge. I just emailed him. I found his website and I emailed him. I said, dude, I explained. I was like, I don't know how I'm a fan of yours. I'm probably not the demographic, and I can't put my finger on it. And he told me, actually, you'd be surprised how many men are reading my books and whatnot. And then he told me a little bit more about himself. And he let me in on a secret that nobody else knew. He said, I'm also a comic book nerd. And I write, and I just got hired by Marvel to write the story about how Black Panther and Storm from the X-Men knew each other when they were kids and fell in love and are going to become a thing. And I was like one of the first people he told this. I was like, because the book hadn't even been done yet, and I was like, that's why I like your writing, because you do a lot of comic book references and things like that. So anyway, and I remember years later when I was on vacation from working overseas, and I went to my comic book store, and right there, Eric Jerome Dickey, Black Panther and Storm, and I was like, holy shit, this guy, he told me about this book. Oh my God. And the guy selling the book was like, all right, that's $250. I don't give a shit. He didn't care. But I was through the roof. But ever since then, I kept in touch with him. So me and my friend Breon, who we had that shared moment. We both, I never met him, but I felt like he was a friend because we kept in touch. We talked a couple of times here and there. I even dedicated a couple videos on this channel to him a couple years ago, and he liked it. He loved it. We talked a little bit. Like I say, we didn't really know each other, but I felt close to him. And he just recently passed away. I thought it might be because of COVID, but it doesn't seem like it was about that. It was all it said was like complications. It was an illness. That's all they would say. And I'm upset because he also wrote a series of. We were talking about James Bond earlier. He switched his style and stopped writing about romance, and he switched to a character he created called Gideon, about a spy. No, I'm sorry, not a spy, an assassin. Who it was a series of books. It was a story that I was like, dude, I hope this becomes a movie someday, because all I could see was Idris Elba. If Idris Elba doesn't become James Bond, he could become Gideon. He could be this character, and these stories were amazing. It was. I never thought I would be rooting for an assassin, but it was that good. But I don't know. I don't think it'll ever happen now. Maybe after his passing. I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm gonna campaign for it. But if you want to read a cool action-packed story about an assassin that's kick-ass and whatnot, look up these books by Eric Jerome Dickey. And tell me if you read just a snippet of it, tell me when you're reading the way this character talks and how this character acts that you don't see Idris Elba in your head.
I'm usually seeing Idris Elba in
my head. I mean, exactly right. But I told my friend Brianna that I would throw it out there and mention it on the show, because like me and her were huge fans of his. We felt like we lost a friend, and I'm sad that he's gone. But I'm going to make it my mission to finish. I've read mostly all of his books, but a couple of his latest ones I haven't bought yet. So I'm going to finish my collection out and dedicate a shelf to my friend Eric Jerome Dickey. So, guys, I'm telling you, he was a huge Black Panther fan, and I will not be surprised if they take the character in a certain direction, if they keep the T'Challa character, or if they ever reboot it in the future. I will not be surprised if they do the story that he wrote for Marvel, and they put that on the big screen. But who knows if it's going to happen now, but we'll see. But anyway, that's what I want to. Was that the last one?
That was the last one. Thanks for hearing that, and I'm sorry for your loss, Chris.
Oh, thank you, appreciate it. But look, if you guys got time, look it up. He was a good writer, and if you're not into the romance cheesy stuff, look up his Black Panther Storm comic books. Those were also real good. So check those out. And Joe Ryan also ended it up when we were talking about Wonder Woman. Kristen Wiig was the highlight, and yes, she was. I agree. She was the highlight of the Wonder Woman movie. Yep, that was the last one, right?
That was the last one.
All right, so yeah, guys, remember you can send your questions, comments, concerns, send them in, and we talk about them on the weekend. If your comment or question is picked to be on the main show, you can also do it through super chats or through the Patreon. So it helps support the channel, helps us to grow, and we love talking with you guys about the things that you want to talk about. So.
If you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe to the channel and please drop a like on this video. It really does help us. Also, don't forget you can turn on notifications so you don't miss a single review, react, why is that trending, or we got your mail.